It's a chill one today.
Foggy, too. I can hardly see past my hands.
Wind and rain is enough to put up with, but fog is something else.
Days like this make me wish I took more time off.
And you will be if you keep talking like that.
Plate layers were inspecting the tracks on the main line. They checked the rails for signs of wear and replaced ballast where needed. It was imperative the engines whistled to tell the men to
Clear the line!
One morning, Gordon arrived at Edward's station, looking rather annoyed. "Problem, Gordon?" asked BoCo. "There is something to be said," Gordon replied, "for quiet engines like you, BoCo. I understand we must whistle for the plate layers, but some of it is most excessive. It isn't wrong, of course, but..." Gordon's speech was interrupted by a booming whistle in the distance. It grew longer and louder, and soon Murdoch shrieked through with the heavy goods. He disappeared back into the fog, but not out of ear. "I rest my case," Gordon harumphed. Later, BoCo found Murdoch resting in the sheds. "If you've come to complain about my whistle," snapped Murdoch, "you've heard quite enough from Gordon already." "I'm not complaining, I'm concerned," BoCo interjected. "I've never heard you make such a racket." "This blasted new driver seems to think me whistle's a toy. Blows it at any chance he gets. Too long and much too loud." Murdoch shuddered. "I tell him to stop, but he only laughs." "I quite understand," murmured BoCo. He had heard stories of troublesome drivers before. "I'd say new drivers tend to learn their lessons rather quickly." "Oh, it can't happen quickly enough," sighed Murdoch. The plate layers had nearly reached Marin Station. Every day, Murdoch would rush past, whistling well before reaching the men. And long after, too. "You're gonna wear him out at this rate," sighed the fireman. "Nonsense," scoffed the driver. "Engines like him are meant for it. Well, I'll give him a big booming hooter if we're not ever gonna use it, eh?" "I don't think you understand which engine you're driving," chuckled the fireman. "He'll never want to whistle again after you're through with him." The fireman was right. Murdoch grew increasingly irritated at the sound of his own whistle, and barely said a word to anyone as he scowled down the line. BoCo tried to comfort him, but the other engines weren't as sympathetic. Even the trucks, who were usually so well behaved, found a chance to tease Murdoch. "When do we get some of that peace and quiet you're always moaning about?" they teased. One morning, the fog returned, and it shrouded the island. And a light rain made the rails damp. As Murdoch set off with his goods, he was struggling to see the line ahead. All too often, his focus was broken by his own whistle. "Will you stop that?" he barked at the driver. "This journey will be hard enough without you making that racket." "Have to let people know we're coming, especially in this mist." "Don't we?" the driver replied with a smirk. They soon approached Edward's station. Murdoch knew what came next. Gordon's Hill and a hard climb. BoCo was nearby and tried to hoot a friendly hello. He charged up the hill, puffing and snorting until he reached the top. Murdoch braced himself for what would come next. But there was no whistle. "Oh, I'm glad you're seeing sense," sighed Murdoch. "But this is the one time we have to whistle." "I can't," cried the driver. "Something's jammed!" Murdoch went pale. The plate layers were just down the line. The driver pulled the whistle chain with all his might. But still no sound came. "Look out! Look out!" Murdoch shouted into the mist. The plate layers were startled. They saw the silhouette of an engine and jumped clear. "Look out! Look out!" With a final ounce of steam, Murdoch found his voice. He finally came to a halt a few miles further on. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They were glad no one was hurt. Murdoch refused to move, so BoCo arrived to help. He took Murdoch to the workstation, then carried on with the goods. "I'd say the lesson has been learned," BoCo winked, as he saw the Fat Controller talking severely to the driver. Soon he came to see Murdoch. "I'm very proud of you, Murdoch. The plate layers tell me you've never been so loud before. Your quick thinking prevented a very nasty accident. We'll soon have you mended. For now, I'm sure you'll enjoy some whistle-free moments of peace." "Oh, thank you, sir," chuckled Murdoch. Sure enough, Murdoch was soon back on the main line. His whistle was working better than ever, and saw far less usage than before. The driver had taken a temporary leave from the footplate. He volunteered to assist the plate layers with repairing the line. Whenever he heard Murdoch's whistle, he smiled. He knew it meant one of two things. A warning to stand clear, or a means of aggravating Gordon.